Hello all, let's start section 1.1. In section 1.1, the first thing that we actually cover or talk about is basic trigonometry, correct? Or I can call it even here introduction or intro to angles. Correct? Let's first start with the definition of an angle. What is an angle? Correct? An angle consists of two rays. Consists of two rays, correct? With a common endpoint. With a common end point, correct? Or you can translate common endpoint with the common origin, correct? Different people use different kind of words. You can call it origin, or in the best language after this we call it what? Vertex. Correct? Two rays. What is a ray? A ray is basically a vector, correct? A line with a starting point, and in one side it continues. When two rays sharing the same endpoint or a starting point or a vertex, correct? They form an angle, correct? They form this angle, and we can measure this angle, correct? The common endpoint, we call it vertex. This ray that we start with, we call it the initial side. Each angle has initial side, and of course each angle has a terminal side. Correct? Vertex, initial side, terminal side. Correct? If I want to even show, I move this way. Now, when we learn about angles, when you rotate the initial side, you can actually measure an angle, correct? When you rotate one side about the vertex, this is how you measure the angle. For example, I rotate theta from here to here in this example, and I'm rotating this way, and now I can measure theta. How much is theta? Correct? There are two types of angles, correct? First, we talk about positive angle, correct? Positive angle. Which type of angle? We call it positive. The rotation of the terminal side is counterclockwise. How? For example, I will draw this angle. This is my initial side, correct? This is my vertex. The rotation of the terminal side is counterclockwise. For example, I'll do this rotation. I'll come up to here. You see, I'm going counterclockwise. If my rotation is counterclockwise, this angle, I call it a positive angle. Here, theta, beta, alpha, gamma, whatever name you use for your angle, that's a positive angle. Next one is negative angle. Of course, based on the first definition, you can say the rotation of terminal side is clockwise. If your rotation is clockwise, the rotation of terminal side, that is a negative angle. See the picture here? This is my vertex. This is my initial side. I'll go this way this time. Correct? The rotation is clockwise. I call this angle a negative angle. Correct? Now, after you know what is positive angle, what is negative angle, of course we will talk here about types of the or I can say angles are classified by their measure. Correct? Some of them, not all of them. Like I'll give you 4 types of them. 4 types of angles. 4 types of angles classified by their measure. Correct? I will draw pictures. The easy way is to draw pictures and explain. I have an angle that it's less than 90 degree. Correct? We already talked about what is a degree. First, let me tell you what is a degree. If you do a full rotation, one rotation all the way like this, if you do a full rotation, we call it 360 degree. If your terminal side does a full rotation, we call it 360 degree. Of course, counterclockwise because it's positive, correct? And if you divide this 360 to or a circle to 360 equal pieces, and you take one piece, you call it 1 degree. Correct? If you divide a circle to 360 equal pieces and you pick only one piece, you call it 1 degree. Now, back here, if your angle is, if your theta, if I name it theta, if your angle theta is greater than 0 but less than 90 degree, greater than 0 degree, less than 90 degree, we call this angle acute angle. Correct? The other type, If you have an angle like this, this is theta. If your theta is equal to 90 degree, we call it right triangle. Or right angle, sorry, not triangle, right angle. Correct? Look at the other one. If this is theta, if your theta is greater than 90 degree, less than 180 degree, we call this angle obtuse. Angle. And of course, the last one, this is the vertex. If I do half round, if my theta is moving half round, I call this angle, it means here your theta is equal to 180 degree, correct? We call this angle straight. Straight angle. These four types that you see here, these are the angles that they are classified by their measure. Correct? Now, to discuss more, let's talk about complementary angles. What is complementary angles? The very easy definition, if I want to write for you, when, or you can say if, two angles, if two angles adds up to 90 degree, correct? We call those angles complementary or complement to each other. I will show it in a picture for you. Here I have two angles. For example, this angle, I'll name it A, and I'll name this angle, angle B. Correct? If A plus B gives me 90 degrees, I call these two angles complementary. If two angles adds up to 90 degree, we call them complementary. Next one, supplementary. Supplementary angles. Two angles two angles, or supplementary if they adds up to 180 degree. Correct? I'll show you in an example here or in a picture. Correct? For example, this is our vertex. This is my angle A, and this is angle B. If A plus B gives me 180 degree, I call these two angles supplementary to each other. These two conditions are really important to memorize. What is the meaning of supplementary? What is the meaning of complementary? Because right now I'll do few examples for you, and you see actually I'm using these two boxes to solve those problems. Correct? Let's do a few examples, practice with complementary and supplementary angles. Then we can move on to the rest of lecture. Example number 1. For an angle measuring 40 degree part A, find the complement and in part B find the supplement. Correct? It's good to draw a diagram for each part. Correct? You have an angle. First draw your angle, which is 40 degree, and I know 40 degree is less than 90 degree and it's an acute angle. It's not necessary to use tools to draw perfectly 40 degree an angle which is 40 degree positive. Correct? Not necessarily you need that. Just draw something less than 90. That will be your 40 degree angle which is given. Part A, find the complement. Here you should remember the definition of complementary angle. When two angles, when they adds up to 90 degree, correct? To 90 degree, we call them complementary. One of them is given. Actually, they are asking you to find this one. Let's name it, for example, X. Okay? They are asking you to find the complement. It means the angle 2. How much is the measure of this angle? Based on my definition, A plus B equals 90 degree. I call it complementary, correct? Then here I can say X plus 40 degree equals 90 degree. Immediately you can see a linear equation, a basic linear equation that maybe you saw it even in grade 5 or 6 of school, correct? One step linear equation. To solve this, to find the value of X, we have to solve this equation. To find the value of X, what we do, we subtract 40 degree from both sides. Then you can say x is equal 50 degree. Correct? It means the complement of 40 degree is 50 degree. Even I know you will tell me, Professor, what is this? Even by looking the problem, we can answer, hey, it's 50. Why you are doing this? But soon you will see in next example, sometimes you need to create your equation to avoid mistakes. Correct? Part B. Part B, again, draw your angle 40 degree. For the same angle 40 degree, they are asking you to find the supplement. To find the supplement, you already know the definition that the supplementary angles, they create 180 degree. Correct? It means this part should be x. And we know the total is 180. I know the definition, a plus b should gives me 180 degree, then I can call them supplementary. Here means x plus 40 degree should gives me 180 degree. Again, subtract 40 from both sides. You can say x is equal 140 degree. It means the supplement for the 40 degree angle is 140 degree angle. Correct? Let's do another example, different way. Example number 2. Find the measure of each marked angle. Find what I'm writing. Find the measure of each marked angles or angle. They give you here a diagram, correct? They give you a diagram like this. Here, this angle, the size is 3x. This angle, the size is 66 degree. Even it's good to use parentheses around. 3x degree, 66 degree. They're asking you to find both angles, how much they are. Look at this sign. What do you see? You see a right angle, correct? And two angles add up to a right angle means complementary, correct? It means these two angles that you see here, 3x and 6x, they are complementary to each other. Then we know the relation that a plus b is 90 degree. They are complementary, correct? My a is here, for example, 3x. My b is 6x equals what? 90 degree. 3x plus 6x gives you 9x equals 90 degree. Divide both sides by 9, solving a linear equation. These two cancels out. X equals what? 10 degree. Now, x is 10 degree. How much is now this angle and how much is this angle? Your first angle, which is 3x, correct? It means 3 times 10 degree, which gives you what? 30 degree. Your second angle, which is 6x, it means 6 times 10 degree, which gives you what? 60 degree. Very easy examples, really easy examples to just practice with complementary and supplementary angles. One more example. Let's do one more for you. Let's do a lot of examples because this is the beginning of the class and I want you to have a good understanding of the topics, correct? Example 3. Again, find the measures. Find the measure of each marked angle. They give you again a diagram. This is your vertex. This angle is 6x degree and this angle is 4x degree. They are asking you to find the measure of them in degree, correct? You see here you are dealing with supplementary. A plus B should be how much? 180 degree. It means 4x plus 6x should be equal to 180 degree. 4x plus 6x gives you 10x. 10x equals 180 degree. Divide again both sides by 10. It means your x is equal 18 degree. As soon as you know the x, it's easy to find these angles. You have enough algebra because you are in trigonometry class, correct? Then 6x equals 6 times 18 degree, which gives you 108 degree, correct? 4x equals 4 times 18 degree, which gives you 72 degrees, correct? This was a practice for the types of the angles, complementary and supplementary angles. I will stop the lecture here and I'll do part 2 of the lecture on measures, how we measure an angle, what are the units. I'll talk about degree, minutes, and seconds in part 2 of the lecture.